What's going on, guys? It's Joe from Flip and Dip. I'm going to be showing you how to install our bracket on the 2015 to 2024 R1 and R1Ms. Cool, so first things first is getting off this rear pillion cover, or if you've got a rear seat, you're going to remove that with the key. We're going to remove the two Allen keys that are located in here and in here. You can either pull back the rubber and do it, or get an Allen key in here. Now we've got the cover off, we need to remove the existing tail tidy. There's 3 bolts that hold it. You can find them inside the seat here. You can just push the wires out of the way and unscrew these. Once they're unscrewed, this tail tidy will come off. Just make sure that you're following the wires and you're unplugging these as well. These are for your indicators and your plate light. You might find it a bit tight in here, so it might help to remove these 2 screws and potentially these 2 screws which hold this bracket. Once these 2 are out of the way, you'll have a lot more space to work with. These are the plugs for the indicators, and this one, and then we have a plate light one. For my bike, these are already all unplugged, so it's a lot easier. So I'm just going to undo these 3 bolts now the wires are slightly out of the way. Cool. Just feed these wires out gently and one by one. So the flip and dip comes in 2 parts for the R1. We have a cover plate, which looks a bit like this. And then we have the actual bracket with the flip mechanism and the hinges. For this one, I've already pre-installed the lock and shim, which you can add on separately. You can find all that on the website. And then of course we have the mounting hardware, which is 2 M6 screws at 35mm and some washers and nuts, of course. So for this install, we've already got indicators built in on the fins, so we're not going to be doing an indicator install as that's already been done on this bike. But you can buy indicator add-ons and then they'll just plug straight in for this hole here. So our piece has the cover piece, which goes on first. Fits nice and snug to the bike. Then the second piece will come up using the same holes and sit just underneath it. We'll feed the 2 screws through. And remember to put the heads at the bottom, not the threads at the bottom. That way the threads are not getting ruined by the rain and all the elements. They're nice and protected on the inside. Once these 2 are in, from the top we're going to add the nuts and the washer. If you're clumsy like me, you might find a magnet a bit easier to work with. To just slide that on. As the space is so tight, it's really easy to drop things. I've just got that on loose and do the other screw. Cool, so them 2 are on. You'll need a 10mm socket now, and then we'll just tighten it up. Like I said, if you are struggling to get your hands in here and get to these nuts and washers, then just remove these 2 bolts and remove this piece. And then you can remove these 2 bolts and remove this piece and you have a lot more space. If you're still struggling, you can always remove this plastic piece. It's just a couple of push pins in here, here and here, and then this piece will come out and give you a lot more access in there. Cool. That's it, simply 2 bolts, that's installed. Like I said, we have a lock and shim on this one, so we can prevent the plate from being flipped at all. Unlock it with a shim and then, there we go. Cool, so that's all it takes, is them 2 bolts. Obviously looks a lot better already. Make sure you get your plate on. Other than that, just follow the reverse steps, put your seat back on or your cover, put them 2 bolts back in, and then that's the whole thing done. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on the road.